Ah, Broadway. The sights, the sounds, the smells. Forget the smells. The atmosphere, the magic. They say the neon lights are bright on Broadway. Da-da-dum-bum-bum. They say there's always magic in the air. Ba-da-dum-bum-bum. Are you an actor who has always dreamed of being a star on a Broadway stage? This is where it's all happening. The central hub of the theater world. The biggest and brightest are and always have been on Broadway. That's terrible. Ladies and gentlemen, gather around your speakers, because we've got a Broadway powerhouse stepping into the offstage spotlight today. Meet Bart Shatto, the man with a voice so big it could fill, well, imagine the biggest space you can, and then double it. Now double it again. That's what we call the Shatto Effect. From belting out iconic roles in Les Misérables as the valiant Jean Valjean, to rocking the stage in the Civil War and hands on a hardbody, Bart's journey through the world of theater is nothing short of legendary. And if you think that's impressive, wait until you hear about his time with the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, where he brought down the house with his electrifying performances. And more and more and more great stories from Bart, the one-man performance machine. Whether he's lighting up a stage or warming up a podcast, Bart Shatto is a man of many talents, all wrapped up in a package of humor, heart, and a dash of that Broadway magic. Stick around, friends. This is going to be one for the ages. On Broadway. Ba-dum, bum, bum. Lord, give me strength. All right, part 2. Here we go. The Offstage Acting Podcast. Hello. Welcome back to the party. We got a good one in store for you today.
We do.
We just got off with our guest, just got started, and we kicked it off here on the Offstage Acting Podcast.
We sure did.
We talk about acting all the time, and today is no exception, is it, Jay?
It is absolutely not an exception.
So
we
we started
down.
We're going to get down. We started with our guest just warming up and getting technical things sorted out, and then
and saying hi.
And we started and we couldn't stop.
No.
So now we're
So-
officially recording.
It's a great sign for you guys, so if you're listening, get ready. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah. So quickly, I'm going to just tell you
Yeah.
everything I know.
Okay. Everything.
Yeah, well, I don't know too much, to be honest. Bart
You don't, I
Shatto.
know.
I know his name is Bart.
Okay.
It's not
That's his
Brad,
name.
so don't get that confused.
Oh, for the dyslexics. Yeah. Thank you.
I called him Brad earlier, like an idiot.
Mm.
Do you know how I came across Bart?
No, I don't. Please tell me.
It's a boring story, but one I think people need to
Now
hear.
You're telling it.
Because it's just stupid. I was looking for a logo,
Okay.
as you
I think
do.
our logo's great.
No, I needed a
Come on.
logo for Actors Access, for
Uh,
something that I think for our thing, our art, because we were talking about these things before.
Okay.
So I was on Google looking for a logo for Actors Access.
Great.
Came across the perfect logo, and I was like, oh, that one, I want that one. And I kind of clicked where it was to get to just, and then I saw this webpage pop up, and it said Bart Shatto, and
A pop-up?
well, because that logo was on his website. I basically stole the logo off his
Oh.
website.
I was just thinking, how obnoxious if actors had pop-ups, you just got pop-ups of your headshot coming up on people's
Oh, that would be
computers.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be good, but
Oh.
also awful.
Maybe we should
Anyway.
start selling that. Offstage Acting is going to start making pop-up ads
Doing
for
headshot
actors.
pop-ups.
Pop-ups. Bing! Hey, have you considered me? Anyway, that's how I found the guy. And then I started doing my research, and I kind of developed a, I don't want to say man crush, but actor crush? Let's call it an actor crush.
Okay, great.
I developed a little actor crush because I was like, this guy's kind of
Right.
cool. He's extraordinary. He's a
Love it.
he's a Broadway guy first and foremost. And I was like, oh, he's a Broadway.
Oh,
We haven't talked to any Broadway people yet.
no, I don't think we have.
And then I saw, and he sings. He's like the triple threat, and an actor and all this great stuff. And I was like, so I just And I love it when actors have all their contact information out. Like, boom, find me here. So I think I wrote him an email or something.
Yeah.
And it was like, dude, be on my podcast. And I also like it when people I ask to be on my podcast go, yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he did.
Interesting.
And he even did one step more, which was
Oh.
we needed a guest. And then he was like, oh, I can't do Tuesday, but I can do like tomorrow. So, boom.
Great.
Now that I've set him up,
Okay.
and said, how great I think he is, I'm going to embarrass him.
Oh yeah.
Ever so slightly.
I know how. The show reel or something?
Yeah, the show reel, and then I want to show you something else really quick though too, because this
Okay,
I think
I'm
this he doesn't know that I'm going to do this obviously.
Okay.
Here's his website anyway.
Oh, stunning.
Yeah, it's really good. It's got
that's
his
great.
actual signature and like all his. It makes my website. Well, my website's better, but it compared.
Okay, Bart. Bart might have some choice words with you. but
Eh,
Okay.
maybe. It's nice though.
All
He's got
right.
all his materials. You can see all the stuff. Anyway,
Yeah, I
and
like
then
the layout of it.
the layout's nice. You could learn something from it. His concerts.
You complimented me on my website.
No, you have a
okay?
nice website, but he
Well,
has
yeah, I can learn. Okay,
like
fine.
look at this. It's
I
crappy.
accept
I
it.
mean,
I
it's
accept
overloaded.
It is really nice.
It's like, hey, I am actor. Hear me roar. And then there's this. Check this out. Wait a minute. I'm gonna play this for you. He's not gonna like this.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Matt, we're in for a treat.
Yeah, we are.
A Central Illinois native who made it to the big stage is back in Peoria for the weekend.
Our own Annie Kate
Peoria.
is live at the Broadway Lounge
Look
in
at
downtown
this setup.
Peoria with former Broadway star Bart
Former
Shatto.
Broadway star,
Good morning,
too.
guys.
It's like
Looks
totally-
great.
Looks great. And it's just like this cheesy lounge
Matt,
setup.
Kyrion, good morning. I'm joined live by Bart Shatto here at the Broadway Lounge
have to
in
feel sorry
downtown
for him.
Peoria.
Like,
I
way
do.
And he is
Look
back
at it.
visiting his hometown. So where are you from, Bart?
No, because of the.
I am from right here in Peoria.
That's amazing. Now, I know that you were on Broadway. I think
That's amazing. Because it's so bad. But God bless him. He did his hometown. What? That's his hometown, Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah.
I know, but he is in a situation where he has to like indulge the understaffed local news television show and compensate for their lack of ability to do a proper interview. So he's like,
Oh, right.
he's carrying the ball, and the setup is pretty, and it's Peoria, Illinois. I mean, but here, this is him singing. Now, there you go. There's a voice.
Love changes everything. Days are longer. Words mean more. Love changes everything. Pain is deeper than before.
Nice, huh?
Beautiful.
right.
Beautiful.
One more. This is his commercial reel, which I just thought was hysterical. I won't play everything in totality, but check it out.
Will you adopt me?
This wouldn't have anything to do with the fact that we just got Comcast cable, would it?
No, that would be shallow.
All those channels, the picture quality, you don't care about any of that?
Nope.
All right.
You're a beautiful person. TVs will do anything for Comcast cable.
Hey, Chief. The draft board for the ESPN.com Fantasy Football League just got here.
He's like the perfect commercial
See, it's Jeff, right?
actor.
Yeah.
Why don't you grab an early lunch?
Okay.
Jeff,
Make ESPN.com your fantasy home,
take the convertible.
and they'll thank you.
Nice.
Do focus groups really tell us what consumers want?
Local
The
commercial.
message is quite clear here, folks.
With babies.
The depot, Baby Depot at Burlington Coat Factory. Get out of Diaper Town, G. He said lowest prices guaranteed. That's amazing. Savings and selections to drool over. Oh my gosh.
Right now, save $10 on this Graco Light Rider stroller, Care Station.
That's
pack and
awesome.
play.
That's awesome. All right, without
They
any.
pulled out the baby card.
Huh?
I said they really pulled out the baby card. It's cute.
There he is. Here's Bart Shatto. Wow. How embarrassing was that? Did I succeed?
Oh my God. I gotta check my website. I gotta get my website.
Hey.
My website's going down, man.
You posted that stuff, man.
Putting it
You
down.
can't.
I don't want anybody to look at my website.
I didn't have to.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine.
Oh, my wife just showed up.
Your dog's upset. Oh, right on time.
My
The
wife
dogs
just
are.
showed up. Her nails are done. The dog is barking. And now she wants to say
Hi.
These guys
So
are-
bring her in. Bring her in. Let's introduce.
These great looking guys. This guy is from he's an LA actor, but he lives in London.
Great looking. Yes, that's right. There's two good looking dudes here.
Podcast.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Here, dude,
Get in camera. There she is.
Hi.
Let me see your nails. Can you see your nails?
Yeah, show us what color did you.
Oh my
what do you? Is
God.
that key lime?
Actually,
What do you call that? Blue?
No, that's like a baby blue.
This is Todd and Jay.
Oh, they are great looking.
Thank you.
We're live, man. We're live.
Oh,
What
I
was the
love-
color again? My girlfriend is looking for a new color.
This is the first time I ever got this. It's kind of like baby blue, and I got sparkles on the fourth finger.
Oh, okay, fancy. Yeah, I think
Isn't she
my
pretty?
girlfriend's got. She's gorgeous. Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Hi. What are you
Hello.
interviewing him for? I can assure you, whatever it is,
They just showed.
he's going to be great.
Talk about acting and all sorts of stuff.
Oh,
We're
you should
interviewing him for his insurance claim.
But Todd's an actor. He's an LA actor and done a lot of stuff. He's great.
Oh, well, you're very cute.
He
Thank
is.
you.
He's-
Thank you.
But they're both adorable,
You're
aren't they?
both really adorable.
We're both based in London.
It's such a
They're
sweet.
both based in London.
Which-
They're
What
both
time?
adorable.
What time is it there?
It's almost 4 o'clock. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
I just had a meeting this morning with a gal from the UK and then a guy from India. It was fabulous.
Right. What do you do?
I would have been.
I am a PhD psychologist, but I do leadership development.
Bart, get out of the way and let her sit down and have her sit
I
down.
know
No.
she's so much more interesting than
Oh, I
Okay, we'll talk.
No, I'm not dressed. I'm wearing
She's
duds.
so much more interesting. It's so much more fun.
I'm wearing duds.
Duds. Oh, nice.
Who duds? Who?
Just get your nails done in duds. That's what you do.
Why would you dress up for getting your nails done?
Right. The nail lady doesn't care. That's for later.
Amy, this is my interview. We've got
Bye,
very-
Amy. Thank you, Amy. We'll talk soon. This will
She's
be. You'll get to hear it. Oh, thank you. Mwah. Mwah. She
Hire him.
blew us a kiss.
And
We'll
she's-
hire him.
She's actually in my show that I want to plug. Back to Broadway with Bart, Heroes Village.
Is she?
She's in my show.
What a wow! What a proponent you have there.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, we got a concert coming up. We just did a concert in Pennsylvania. We got a concert coming up in Boynton Beach, Florida.
Oh wow, Boynton Beach. Yeah.
The Temple Shai Shalom. It's some Beth. Yeah, some.
One of the Beths. Yeah.
It's a temple. It's a temple.
Temple.
In Boynton Beach.
Great.
So you're kind of like you do stuff. Obviously, you're a former Broadway star. No,
I am a.
I'm quoting
I
you
will
from the.
say I am a current Broadway star, but I haven't
you.
done Broadway since War Paint. But I don't. It's been 7 years, but I don't say 7 years because 3 years was COVID and Broadway was shut
Yeah.
down. So it's been
Yeah,
less
yeah.
than 5 years. But hey, listen, man, I just auditioned for a Broadway show coming up next season. I'm involved in a show that's coming to Broadway in 2025 right now that I've been working on for 2 years that I like to talk about as well.
Mhm.
So I'm constantly auditioning, and for new shows coming up. But you got to get in on these shows in the ground up, guys, as you know, in the workshop phase.
Right. That's the best way to get into
You have
Yeah.
to, otherwise
the big run.
Yeah, and I've done 5 Broadway shows, but it's not. Everybody knows who I am, in New York. But
Yeah.
it's just that the right fit. But man, I can't wait to go back. Can't wait to go back.
So you are actually from Peoria.
Yes.
Let's just talk about that real quick.
It's the brunt of most jokes. Why is that?
It's totally unfair. It's completely unfair. I know.
It's a great place, man, and I go back at least once every 2 years to do a show.
Yeah, absolutely. But it is a Midwest, and it's not the creative hub of America or even of Illinois, per se.
But it's it's culturally they got a lot of talent there, man.
Yeah.
A lot of theater going on there.
Is there? Okay, yeah. There's a big audience, I suppose.
I have to say, man, they got a lot of talent.
How far away is
You
it
would
from
not think
Chicago?
it's some bohick town, man. It's I think they're up to like 200,000 people there, but they're smart, they're savvy, they know what's going on in New York.
Right.
Are
they close to Chicago? Peoria is close to
It's
Chicago?
about 2.5, 3 hours from Chicago.
Okay.
I mean, it's up and coming. You know, I mean, they have Caterpillar there, which, you know, it's a manufacturer for tractors.
Tractors.
Right.
As you guys know, some people know.
That's a cultural hub for all agricultural workers.
I mean, you know,
Agricultural hub, yeah.
that's the
I grew up there. That's
agricultural hub.
That's where I started theater, and that's where I got my theater roots and started my first voice lesson. And you know,
So is it like a Madison, Wisconsin kind of thing where there's like a real scene going? And
there's a real. I don't think it's as culturally like that, because I've been to Madison, and one of my best friends from Peoria lives in Madison. He's a comedy writer. He writes for Comedy Sport. He's involved with Comedy Sports with a Z.
Oh yeah.
But he actually writes for Cracked magazine now.
Right. Oh, that's still going. Oh.
Yeah, it is. It's actually online. So
Okay.
And so yeah, he was a guy I graduated with. I did a lot of plays with him. His name is Matt Solomon, and so he lives there now. But no, it's not as hip as. But I think it's becoming more like that. Hey, Richard Pryor, Dan Fogelberg grew up in Peoria.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's right. The Pryor connection for sure. Yeah. And Bart Shatto. Right.
Bart Shatto. I mean, there's some other well-known people that came out of Peoria.
So what was the kind of vibe growing up? What was your like?
God,
what did your parents do?
You know, the vibe was. I was born in Peoria, but then my dad was a blue-collar guy, right?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So, and my mom was a homemaker, like you do.
That's assumed.
Generation,
All that's
right?
assumed.
And they raised 4 kids, and I was the youngest of 4 kids. And
the youngest.
I was the youngest.
The baby.
The baby, and I was born there in Peoria, and then my dad decided he worked for Pabst Blue Ribbon Brewery.
Nice.
Okay.
That's
So
working
he was
class.
a machinist.
It's been around that long.
Wow.
Yeah, he was a union guy, a real, real sturdy, like Irish Catholic,
Yeah. I can picture it. Yeah.
And, and so, but he decided to move the family to a place called Bradford, Illinois, which is 45 miles west of Peoria. Population 850 people.
Wow.
And so he moved the whole family when I was like, I didn't even do kindergarten in Peoria. I started first grade in Bradford, and I was there from first grade to 8th grade. And because he decided to do that because the school that my siblings were going to, my siblings, Brett, Carrie, and Beth, were about to go to was called Richwoods High School. And there was lots of drugs going on there.
Mm.
It was, and they didn't want my sisters, my brothers and sisters getting involved in drugs. So they moved us to this small town in the middle of a farm, in the middle of a cornfield, literally.
Yeah.
And then once we moved there, we were called the City Slickers. So that's how small the town was.
Right.
Think Footloose, but smaller. Think Footloose.
Yeah.
And my brother was Ren, and he was always in fights because he was a small, scrappy guy. And then, what the weird thing is that my brother and my sister ended up marrying 2 people that were born in Peoria.
Right.
Still married.
Oh, that's coincidental.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, they've got like tons of kids. Yeah. So my dad did the right thing, but I mean, so what was it like growing up? I spent 8 years of my life in Bradford.
Small town boy.
Small town, kicking cans on a country road.
Yeah.
And I'm not kidding, man. I was
hanging out at the Dairy Queen or
heading out of the Dairy Queen, and I'd go to the local drugstore just 1 block up, and I'd get my sci-fi magazines. And God, there's this, and I would look at this magazine. It was like, there's this film called Star Wars coming out. So that's how old I am. So I was literally living and percolating my dreams in Bradford, Illinois.
So what got you?
Wow.
I was Luke Skywalker looking.
Yeah.
Well,
oh my gosh.
John Williams' theme was going. Da, 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 looking out my window with Luke Sky, that great scene when he's looking out in the horizon where the 2 or the 3 suns are setting between. Oh my God!
I know exactly what
you're exactly what you're talking. And the score, da, 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 Luke's theme comes up. I would sit out
that was you.
Look outside my window and play it on my LP, waiting to get out of Bradford.
So was it this kind of boredom that drove you to start? What were you watching a lot of TV and thinking
No,
someday?
that's how I grew up in.
Yeah.
I was just living my dreams on TV and books. All I did was read.
Right.
And you know, I was an artist, so I drew, and I was just obsessed with TV. I was obsessed, like when I was young. The thing that was coming out was like Roots. Remember that miniseries? Alex Haley
Kunta Kinte.
with LeVar Burton. Yeah. So I was obsessed with anything that was coming out, like a Disney show or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And
The
then
miniseries and things. Yeah.
Miniseries like North and South or whatever. And then I was, of course, I watched I Love Lucy, Andy Griffith. I watched all the sitcoms.
All the reruns. Gilligan's Island.
Gilligan's
Troop.
Island, Love Boat, Fantasy Island.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of how I became like, I sort of how I got my comic timing.
Yeah.
Because I just grew up watching those sitcoms.
Yeah, I did as
Wanting
well.
to be on those sitcoms. So like, and on top of that, I was like, I had so many variable like interests. Like I loved wrestling, and I loved everything. I mean, I had so many different interests other than reading books and movies.
I imagine it's a lot of kind of freedom growing up that way. Safe, a lot of outdoor time, even in the winters.
Oh man, I was
everybody
outside
knows everybody. Yeah, so you're you got everybody was older. Was brothers or sisters?
All brothers and sisters. I mean, we would have at times like my aunts and uncles like living with us. I'm like,
yeah, so big family,
so
Catholic.
weird.
Yeah. Everybody's so you grew up safe and comfortable, and the youngest. Given a lot of freedom to just run around and explore and imagine, and
so I hated to come home and
right,
watch
crack a book, studies
with Walter Cronkite or whatever. Like, oh God, I hated to come home because I was outside all day.
Right.
We'd get into refrigerator boxes and just like slide down hills. That was our entertainment. There were no phones.
Those were the good old days. Yeah, get on your bike at 8 o'clock in the morning, backpack, and ride all day with your friends, and come home at dark.
Yeah, because like the nearest town was like 3 miles away, so all I would do is just like
head
walk.
to that town. Right.
Camp was called Camp. I mean, you're talking the quintessential Midwestern
story,
upbringing.
The upbringing, yeah. So now you're a little kid and you're kind of looking at TV. You're watching all that old classic stuff. I know that story. That's exactly my same story. Not a lot of channels really at the time. So you had like three, 5 channels. A lot of after school, Three Stooges and all that kind of stuff running after school.
Little Rascals.
Little Rascals.
Todd.
I grew up Southern California.
So, oh wow, yeah. You live in Southern California.
Same 70. I think I was about 5 years old when Star Wars came out, something like that. And
but I don't think that your upbringing stuck in the middle of the heart of Illinois was much different, man.
No, it feels the same. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty. It was pretty rugged in California in those days, and not a lot of TV, and we were outside all the time and all that stuff.
Crazy.
But now I'm just wondering, how did you, the Catholic boy whose father works for Pabst Blue Ribbon, when do you walk up and go, "Hey, by the way, Pop, I think I'm going to be an actor"?
Oh man, my parents.
And what's the reaction?
My parents, because my dad, I didn't tell you this. My dad was a moonlighter musician. He was at Upright.
Oh, okay.
For jazz band on the weekends. So he made beer during the week and played music during the weekend.
Ah, nice.
All my brother and sisters could sing. Everybody played an instrument.
Okay, great.
We were all in band.
Oh, here it comes.
My dad was in a glee club, so we got all that from my dad.
Oh, right.
Wow.
Would he head up to Chicago and play and stuff?
No, he wouldn't go that far. He would just play gigs nearby Peoria. He was with a Dixieland band and a jazz band.
Wow.
And Upright Bass.
Did he?
You know what the weird thing is? I'm talking about my childhood a lot, but my dad's name was frickin' Player. Now that was my dad's real frickin' name.
Player Shatto.
Player Shatto. And people thought that was the coolest name.
Definitely.
He wasn't a player at all. My dad was like loyal to my mom. He was like the nicest.
Yeah, player has many connotations, but yeah.
Yeah, it's got a lot of connotations, but most people would love the fact that like, hey, my name.
He played the bass, so he played something.
He was Player, and then his nickname was Tink, Tink.
As if he needed a nickname with a name like Player. You call him Play.
I mean, interesting. We have such a weird, interesting names of people in my like
Right.
Bart. My brother's name is Brett because my dad decided to name us after the Mavericks, like that show, the Maverick Brothers.
Sure, I remember that.
James
Yeah.
Gardner and Jim
Yeah,
Kelly.
that makes sense.
And they made a really
Bart and
bad,
Brett Maverick. Yeah.
not a great film out of it with oh man,
James Garner was it?
It was James Garner and not Rob Roy, dude. Oh my God, Australian actor. What was his name? Mel Gibson.
Crocodile Dundee. Oh,
Mel Gibson. Yeah, Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson. Okay.
So yeah,
But that does explain. And by the way, that upright bass is not an easy instrument to play.
No, it's not, man.
And it means that your father had some kind of groove to him. If he's up there,
He did. He loved music, and you know
punching
what?
away at that.
And to get away from my mom,
Right.
his main outlet was going into his wood shop and making birdhouses and jazz music would be playing for hours,
Right.
drinking beer.
What was he
after
listening?
beer.
Who was he listening to? What do
You know what?
remember?
Weirdly enough, he
Parker,
actually
Davis,
yeah. He even liked some of
Marsalis.
the current people who were not so much that, but so much. He was like listening to the current people who were doing the jazz thing.
Right.
I was going to say Michael Bublé, but who was the blonde, the female blonde who was getting into the jazz stuff? Who was really, really awesome. I forgot her name.
That was one of his favorites. The
I was
blonde
like-
female,
He
Madonna.
listened-
No.
No. He listened to her. He listened to, I don't know. He listened to Dixieland and
So was it more new, like so like kind of newer jazz?
Diane, what was her name was? I forgot it. Yeah. Anyway, so he listened to them, listened to her a lot. but
Right.
Just basic jazz stuff. Yeah.
So you're hearing music in the house all the time, though, right?
Oh yeah, man. I would wake up in the morning and music would always be playing. So, and I was not a morning person, so I freaking hated it.
Is
If
it
I
Chuck Mangione playing playing his French horn, and you're just like
No, like I'm telling you, weirdly enough, no Broadway was playing. I don't know even understand how I became a Broadway guy because I was listening to Nancy Wilson, Lou Rawls, Three Dog Night.
Right.
You know,
kind of 70s classic rock.
70s classic
yeah.
rock stuff. That's all I was listening to. And then when I was listening to my brother's stuff, I was listening to Journey, and I was listening to REO Speedwagon and Gary Richwell. REO was from Peoria as well.
Yeah.
So
That's
I was
very
listening to
Midwest rock. Yeah.
Bob Seger. I grew up on all that stuff.
Oh, I love some Bob Seger.
Broadway guy, man. I have no idea.
Well, I have an idea. I mean, basically, you're coming from a heavily musical background, particularly for someone that's like from a tiny, small town in central Illinois, from a working class Irish Catholic family. But then to have that kind of musical undertone or that score, the musical score to your childhood, that's huge.
Yeah, maybe that's it. This is a great therapy session. I don't even need to pay a therapist.
That's what I do. Well, yeah.
Jay, do you have any insights on how I became so screwed up?
I think I do. Actually,
Jay, I asked Jay.
There's
Jay
two schools of thought.
No, Todd's the psychoanalyst here. Todd, he loves to do it, and that's a hint.
I want to analyze something else too. Thank you, Jay.
I love what my wife said. Sometimes I call my wife my mom, which is so Freudian. It's so. I always say I love my mom. I mean, my wife.
My wife. Oh my
and
God.
Amy looks nothing like my mom.
Therapy session.
My mom was hot though. But I love how my mom was hot back in the day.
Yeah.
Still,
Todd, take it away.
Yeah. Well, my mom was hot too. It's hard. It's hard to grow up with a hot mom. It really is. They're getting catcalled on the street.
I love how she said, "You're really cute." I'm like, Jesus Christ.
You jumped right in on that. You helped with that.
Yeah,
but I mean, the woman's only human. She's got eyes. She can tell. She knows what cute looks like.
You're both very attractive, and you're a very attractive man. I mean, you're a very attractive man, Todd.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And also, you know what? Your reel is awesome, and you got it going on as far as your business acumen.
Oh,
look that word up, everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you're listening to this on podcast and you want to know which one of us is the most attractive, go to the YouTube channel and check it out, where you can see the live.
You are, and it's so cool. I mean, at least you're specific though, Todd. Like I can go, like you play a lot of soldiers and stuff, a lot of guys who
Yeah.
a lot of
military.
like real straight laced. Like with me, I'm like my energy is weird, so it's like I'm all over the map. I play weird. I play all sorts of weird characters.
What's your favorite type to play?
Man, I don't know.
Because I mean, from your real, like, you have a great commercial look. You're probably not doing so many these days, but when you were young, you were like you're the classic everyman American, not too funny, like kooky, wacky, but not too straight.
Not too straight.
And you have nondescript sort of features. You don't know where quite you're nondescript in a sense. Not that you're unattractive or anything, but which is perfect. It's perfect.
I'm not like a Brad Pitt, but then I'm not.
You're not. It's not like, I got to put a paper bag on this guy.
I'm not like Philip Seymour Hoffman, but
yeah, you're not grotesque.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah.
Don't talk ill of the dead.
Oh, he was a great actor. I love Philip.
He
could go both ways.
I love him so much. Yeah, he is. Yeah. So I mean, I don't even know. I love to act. I love what I do. And,
all right, let's unpack this. Let's unpack. Let the therapy session continue. We've already had a lot of great revelations. First of all, one question for you.
Yeah.
I thought when I first saw your name, I was like, oh, this guy's cool. He's got a lot going on. Look at him, man. He's like a Broadway stud. Because Broadway, I envy that anyway. I'm like, he does Broadway. I just do this. But, and then I thought, ooh, unfortunate last name.
Yeah.
I don't know if you get that. But then I thought, well, wait a minute. Is it one of those Ellis Island things? But then you're Irish, where it's like a French name and it was Shatto. It really is Shatto. But whoever came through Ellis Island went, yeah, my name is Shatto. And they wrote, okay.
No,
S-H.
it's not. And there's other chateaus out there.
I saw that when I looked up Brad Shatto.
Yeah, it's weird and it gets mispronounced all the time. It's actually Scottish. So I come from Scottish.
Is it?
Lineage.
Okay.
My son looked it up. I looked up the lineage, and it's absolutely. I'm probably more Scottish than I am Irish, even though my mother's great grandparents came from Galway.
Galway. That's a good place.
So and my dad never knew his dad, so I can't really do. I mean, I could probably do Ancestry.com or something like that, but my dad's father disowned him and his sister, which was horrible. He's got my dad grew up in like a freaking train car,
Wow. Player. Your player grew up in a train car?
Terrible. And then his sister died in a car accident, like at a very young age.
They had such a rough life back then, didn't they?
Terrible life. But then these
people.
He created 4 great kids.
Is he still with us?
No, he died in 2005.
God bless.
But then we have all these grandkids, so it's like he would be a great grandfather to 12 or 13.
The whole village. Amazing. Of whatever. What was the name of the Bradford? No, where'd you come from again?
Bradford.
Yeah, but he'd be the patriarch of Bradford right now. How many chateaus are running around Bradford thanks to him?
Yeah. It's a weird name, man. It's a weird because it gets mispronounced as Chateau or Shadow. Or even Shitto. I'm like, what?
Shitto. Well, that's, I suppose, if people want to really, as long as a reviewer doesn't go, I have one word for Brad Shatto's performance last night. And it's just a one-word review.
Well, you know what? If you're going to just really tear apart my name.
I just wanted to get into it.
About me or my performance.
Then we're going to have one hell of a show.
Or then that's okay. If that's all it comes down to.
Ask Jay. I've already tore into Jay's name.
If that is how petty one is about oneself.
All right, let's move on. Jay is empathizing with you because I tore into him too.
I am, yeah, no.
I had to tell him that his name wasn't Norwegian once, and he's like, I think it's Norwegian. Anyway, we won't get into that. Check out episode whatever, blah, blah, and you'll get into that.
Yeah.
All right, just curious. So it's a Scottish name. That's great. We'll look it up.
If there's the weird thing is, Todd, I'm terrible at a Scottish accent. I cannot get a Scottish accent right. But weirdly enough, I booked a role as a Scottish character recently. So strange. But my Scottish accent, I really had to work at it.
You have to remember, they don't say the end of the letter in any word.
That's so good, man.
Aye.
Really good.
Well, you have to. I lived here for 15 years too, so
Yeah.
And then you can
yeah,
do
yeah.
it from the side of your mouth. They got
Wow.
that Edinburgh.
Yeah, there's different.
the
There's
Edinburgh
different Scottish
brogue,
accents too.
like
There's
Sean
way too many
Connery.
accents here.
There's a lot of different
There's
Scottish
a lot of
accents.
accents here.
All the regionalisms are
There's
just.
too many.
Just
Yeah,
like
yeah,
if
yeah. It's crazy.
you want an American accent. There's so many different Southern accents.
You do a beautiful American, by the way. Your Midwest
I'm
is
from the Midwest, man.
chef's kiss.
I'm from the.
Oh, okay, that explains it.
You know, yeah, but I used to have a much more Midwestern accent, but
You got a little New York twang in there.
I got, you know what? I might as well be a New Yorker. I mean, I've been here for 30 years, man.
Yeah, you are a New Yorker for sure.
I am. Might as well.
Jay was a New Yorker for how long, Jay?
I lived in New York for 7 years.
Mm.
That's
Really?
Way less than 30. Wow.
You
Yeah,
start
I lived
off.
in New York for 20 years.
You start off as an actor, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay.
Moved to act. Be creative. Live life.
Yeah. Okay.
Fly the nest.
Yeah. It's great. Yeah.
Let's unpack Bart Shatto's journey.
Try to make it quick, so hopefully people won't be bored.
Yeah, sorry. If you're getting bored, just go online and check out Bart's massive mug. By the way, he's got this.
And we're
Did you,
not
did
talking
you couldn't get the extra large? Show the mug real quick. Jesus.
because I had a story.
Is that like 2 liters of coffee?
I have, you know what? It's called a grande black eye because I have to have my 2 shots of coffee, my 2 shots of espresso with hot coffee, and it's called a black eye. And
That's pretty
every
good.
time I go to a
So it's like
Starbucks-
filter coffee with 2 additional shots of espresso.
Yeah, I
Wow.
try to make friends with all the people at Starbucks because then I can just go, okay, my black eye. They already know what I. Hi,
Yeah,
Bart.
they go,
I
hi.
know what they want.
Yeah,
and then I
that's
get
the point.
10 cents off because I bring my mug. And people, and if you want,
That's not a mug. That's a rocket launcher. Looks like it should be held on your shoulder.
rocket fuel.
Rocket fuel and a rocket. Looks like, is it? It's like a liter and a half.
I don't know, man.
You
know, I should have
a liter and a half.
I-
Realistically,
It's a lot of coffee.
I should have got a venti. But you want to go stump a barista? You order a black eye or a purple eye.
Right.
Or
a margarita.
Or
And then watch him go. Watch the face.
oh my god.
Can I get a blended margarita, please? And they go, baby. Sorry, Millie.
Anyway, black eyes are the best.
Okay, so Bart Shatto is living in Bradford, tiny town, and comes up and says, "Dad, I want to be an actor." When Dad says, "What are you gonna do? You can't be here forever. You got to get out." Look at me,
Well,
I got it.
get out. We moved back to Peoria.
As a clan, the whole clan.
Well, all my brothers and sisters were already out of high school.
Okay, so the 3 of you.
So we moved back to Peoria. They enrolled me in a Catholic high school.
Right. Good.
Okay, which was
Good.
probably the best thing for
Give
me.
you some some structure.
Yeah, right? Which is run by nuns and priests. Okay.
Oh my.
Oh my. Yeah. I was an altar boy, by the way, but I
Good.
never got.
This is
Never
all.
got
This is. Wow. Wow.
But I can tell you, I never got altered.
You never got altered. Nobody's saying anything
Came
about.
close.
But this is all the trajectory to Broadway.
Yes.
So
yes.
you're an altar boy in high school at the Catholic high school.
Yeah. Catholic high school.
Start doing plays.
First year, I joined the bowling team. I was a complete nerd because I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life.
All
And I joined
boys.
a
All
speech-
boys school.
No, it was co-ed because, and I always talk about this. The girls, the girls. Biggest
Yeah.
downfall for me were the girls. The girls wore skirts.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
do
with the
you
knee
guys
high
know
socks.
about Steak and Shake? You know the restaurant Steak
Yeah.
and Shake.
Yeah, I know that place. Yeah.
You know how they have like the plaid skirts.
Yeah.
Speaking of Scottish plaid skirts, they wore plaid skirts, body
knee-high
socks,
socks,
saddle shoes.
Yeah.
And you could always see their legs. So I was always completely distracted.
Right. Okay. And maybe. And did you end up doing plays?
Yeah, I ended up doing plays because I got involved in theater at Bergen. It's
That's
called Bergen High School, which is now called Notre Dame, or Notre Dame, I should say.
Right.
So
it's
I
a
got
good way to meet girls through theater.
Yeah, I met a lot of them. I even dated a Trojanette.
As you do.
So the Catholic high schools motto, their not motto, their
Slogan.
no, they're not their slogan. Their mascot
Oh.
was a Trojan.
Okay.
Yeah, Trojan
Safe
Warrior.
sex, everybody. Safe sex. Safe sex. Sorry.
Oh yeah, so in America, there's a condom
So
called
we
a
had the
Trojan condom.
Trojanettes.
Yeah.
And
Wow. Yeah, that's kind of telling.
nobody
isn't it?
got that, did they? Wow.
Well, we're not American, and we don't have that brand here. I don't think.
Oh, you don't.
But I grew up. I know what you mean. It's a brand of condom called Trojan.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
little
yes,
Trojan
Trojan.
warrior on it. Yeah.
I dated a dancing Trojan.
I played a dancing Trojan.
In fact, I dated two of them.
I will send you my dancing Trojan clip. I played a dancing Trojan, and then we'll come full circle.
And she looked great in latex. That's all I had.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice, Bart.
That was just.
I'm trying to create a nice
That was
professional interview for you that you can.
I just crossed that brain barrier, which we.
Yeah, you did sign the release form, right? I can't have you coming back later and saying,
"Okay."
okay.
I'm not usually off color like that.
All right, moving forward. No, it's fine.
Yeah, I could have been a lot worse. Believe me.
Yeah, I'm sure. We'll do it off.
Believe it.
Anyway, Trojanettes, Catholic high school.
Trojanettes aside, let's talk about your theater.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of a department there. There was a little bit of a scene.
Well, everybody's. I hate actor stories, and I think it's bullshit. Well, there were girls there, so I decided to join the class. I'm like, shut the frick up, dude.
Yeah. Well, that was my story. Sorry.
Girls are going to be everywhere, and so like that's dumb. I think it's dumb.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I hear
Listen, you're an acting nerd. You just wanted to get validation and attention. Shut the hell up.
that. Right.
Okay.
So
which is it for you?
Who's the girls?
Right.
It was always the girls.
I did cross country for the same reason. I did theater and cross country in school. Cross country was a co-ed sport. Yeah.
Yeah.
The wrestling and the football team and all the rest, they were just boys, sweaty, gross boys.
You got like a tall mesomorph thing going off, right? You are kind of very mesomorphish, aren't you? Like me.
Yeah.
Eventually.
mesomorph, that's a body type.
That's a body type. Yeah.
That's a body. Look it up, Jay. Look it up. Yeah.
Jay's a troglodyte type.
There's ectomorph, there's mesomorph, and there's
exomorph.
Something like that.
Yeah, I
think mesomorph is the one that the really thin.
There's that's the middle where there's one that's all skeletal, and that's the one with very little muscle tone.
Ectomorph.
And anyway, yeah.
I learned this at some point in the past.
You're about my height, and you're very tall and thin and lean and.
6'2", 100 and.
Oh, you're 6'2". You're really tall, man. I'm about 6 foot, and you were.
Right.
I was blonde at one time, but now I'm no longer blonde.
Thank you.
But
Still.
we have the same body type. But I've never played soldiers. Why are we talking about this? Hey, I like it.
It actually is relevant for acting. I mean, if we weren't talking about acting, this conversation would have taken up.
Well, at least we can fit you in something. Nobody knows how to cast me in anything. I mean, I'm all over the map. So,
Well, I think you have a unique and great set of skills, which is you've kind of captured the other Australian, which is the Hugh. What's his name? Jackman. The Hugh Jackman thing, which is the kind.
Okay.
Right? Not in. Yeah.
Bryan Cranston as well.
That's
Jackman and Conan O'Brien and all those guys.
Yeah, I mean,
that's pretty accurate.
I'm pretty. In fact, I'm actually hoping that you pull a Bryan Cranston on us, and you get famous later in your career, and then we'll have the exclusive interview with you, and everybody's going to benefit from that.
Oh man, I think I'm a late bloomer. I think I've been working hard at this career for 30 years now, but I still think I have not hit my stride, and I'm almost 60.
You know what? Yeah, I hear you. But first of all, this is part of the reason for the show and for the project in general is because there's something to be said for that level of actor. The problem with most the people that don't understand the business and the craft, they just assume that if you say you're an actor and they have never heard of you, then you're not a very good actor. But there's a whole level of not A-listers who are in the B range, who are working and making a decent living and doing stuff and are known and are completely content and happy and even more content than some of the A-listers who are so famous that they can't move around in public.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I was listening to an interview with Philip Seymour Hoffman. I've been doing a deep dive on him and his work since his death, or not since his death, but since his birthday, which was a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
But in an interview, he said, you know, as an actor, it was almost like he had foreknowledge of what was going to happen. This was 2 years. He was 2 years before he died. It was right after. Well, it was actually right after Capote, so it was longer than that. But and it was in New York. He was doing an interview with the Y and the YMCA. They do great interviews. But he was like, anonymity is like hair color. You know, I mean, it's just so part of who you are, unless you change your hair color like me, like every role. But he said, you know, it's just like hair color, eye color. It's just like once you know, it's such a intimate part of who you are, and when you lose it, you feel like your soul kind of just ripped out from you, and you don't know. It's hard to exist when you don't have anonymity anymore. And it's almost like he had foreknowledge that he just can't handle that kind of anonymity. And I mean, listen, I would love to be famous for at least a month and see what that feels like. But to go anywhere, even to go get my Starbucks coffee and be recognized, and be in a hurry and be like, you know, leave me alone right now, would be like such a. That'd be tough.
It'd be tough.
Yeah.
I was watching a clip. I don't know. I came across it somewhere, or I was doing something else, and it popped up on YouTube, and it was just stupid. But it was Tom Cruise almost gets hit by a bus, and it was him trying to walk through London just as a regular guy, and they're filming him from a distance, and he steps out and he does the classic like tourist in London thing where he looks right instead of left, and the bus comes for him, and he has to back off up the curb, and it's just like a 30-second clip. Somebody kind of says, "I think they're filming you," and he looks around, and now he's to just awkwardly walk like as quickly away from that scenario as you can. And you think any one of us could have done that any time in our lives, any day, and nobody's filming it and posting it and getting 60 million hits on YouTube about it because you made a slightly dumb mistake. So there's a trade-off there.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we all would love to have that, you know, red carpet and all that kind of stuff. Or I think, listen, if I had success early, guys, I would either be dead or in jail.
Right.
I would have to probably do the Robert Downey Jr. thing. I was actually scouted by when I was 16, and still living in Peoria at the time. I was in high school, and I looked like Anthony Michael Hall, but I was scouted. I was up in Chicago doing an audition, one of those, you know, combined auditions for all the theaters, the regional theaters, and
Unified. Yeah.
Yeah, and a talent agent scouted me. I blew the entire audition. I was like so bad, but I was still a pretty decent actor. I was trying to do something like a Ionesco thing or a misanthrope, you know, some sort of classic play. I was terrible, but a week later, I got a call when I was in Peoria that I was to come back to Chicago to audition for this film for a guy named John Hughes. And the film was called Breakfast Club.
Wow.
And I met
small film. No one knows about it.
No one knows about it. I had no idea. Nobody knew about it. Nobody
What
knew
role? What role was it?
The nerd, Anthony Michael Hall.
Oh wow.
Oh my gosh.
So
how close did you get?
I didn't. I don't even know if I got close. All I know is that I showed up at this high-rise building, and there was other guys there, young people, and one guy showed up with a briefcase. I'm like, Jesus Christ, what the hell's going on?
Where am I?
Where the hell? And I'm all of a sudden in Chicago, and I met John. It was just me in his office, and I read a monologue, and there was a bigger monologue that he talks about trying to commit suicide.
Right.
And he breaks down, and so it was amazing. To read with him, and I read with him and said thanks so much, and then I walked out. But back there wasn't even a screen test. I didn't even get that far. It was just reading with John.
Yeah.
But just to meet him and to be so influenced by his films.
Yeah. Yeah, I love his films. He's one of the most incredible. I just saw a documentary with him all over. It's called The Brats. Watch a documentary. It's made by the guy I can't remember.
Andrew McCarthy?
Yeah, McCarthy.
I watched that too. I wasn't impressed by that documentary because I just thought it's kind of sad that he's still hanging on
Yeah,
to this.
he's kicking that thing around. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, and
But
it's why would anybody want?
and
to
all of his friends are kind of going, you should
Why
have
are
let
you
go of
here?
that a long time ago. Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah,
do you need
sorry.
something with your career?
Yeah.
No, I appreciate the documentary. I appreciated when he brought the guy in who had actually written the article and deemed the name Rat Pack.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really interesting to kind of put this guy on the spot. And the guy was like, I did what I had to do.
Yeah.
Screw you.
Yeah.
And I love that. That was the best part of the documentary. But I'm like, I would have loved to be part of the Rat Pack.
I know. Like, what's the problem? He just wasn't able to embrace it. I think he wanted to be a serious actor and considered serious, even though he was young, and not just saw, oh my God, no such thing as bad publicity. They've created a term for us, you know.
And those guys were really talented. I mean, they were
absolutely. They were great.
There was a combination back in the and I go, Bart, you would never have been able to handle success at that age at 16.
Right. Yeah.
And you weren't confident enough. You know, I was a shy kid, you know, but those guys like Judd Nelson and all those guys, Anthony Michael Hall was a talent. He was the youngest member of SNL.
Right.
For one season, the youngest member.
That's true.
That's just he was so talented, and now he has a career. He just did a film with Brad Pitt. He still has a thriving career. But those guys, those kids, they had a combination of talent, charisma, and very high self-esteem, and all combined at the same time. That package was like it just read star.
They were also pretty good looking.
And they were very good looking.
Yeah.
That helped too. But they get
there's some great there's some great stuff in that documentary about with John Hughes and stuff like that. So I recommend it anyway for young actors to kind of get a feel for.
Anyway, that's my John Hughes story, and
era.
I told the story in my show Back to Broadway with Bart. And I told the story, I'm sure, and I told the story about me taking his pen away off his desk and to take a few notes, and then I actually walked away with John Hughes.
You've got his pen?
Yeah.
Is it embossed somewhere now? Like on a plaque? Hey, man, I wish I had a brush with John Hughes.
Yeah, pretty cool.
I have some friends that did some other John Hughes stuff, and yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
But you are famous in Peoria. I mean, let me just remind the folks here, like there is a bit of.
I think that was that person's first assignment, and they unleashed her on me.
Oh, and the cameraman's first assignment maybe too. She's literally wearing her Birkenstocks in the frame, and then she's like looking at her phone in between questions.
God, how do you know
So you're from Peoria, and
and
you go, yeah, I'm from right here in Peoria, and she goes, amazing. So where are you from? But you know, you can be famous from where you're from. I bet you're a big hit in Peoria. They must all know you.
Yeah, they all know me.
Yeah.
I go back at least once a year, once or twice a year.
Local boy makes good.
And I go back and I do my show, and
so let's talk about your shows. I kind of, as I perused BradShatto.com. No, I'm just kidding. Which is what the first thing I was looking for. I was like, "Where's Brad Shatto?"
You're really cementing Brad.
Bart Shatto. Like, think of the. It sounds like a French word. Le Bart Shatto.
It does. It's not.
It's not.
Shatto.
And you've got back-to-back Broadway with Shatto and Stickler. Who's Stickler?
Well, that's one of the shows that I do. But
Okay.
Carla's from Chicago, I think originally, and she was one of the Elphabas on Broadway in Wicked. And we hooked up
cool.
after not hooked up, but we got together after we did a concert in Florida for another person. And I said, "You want to do the show with me?" She said, "Sure." So we start doing shows together. And and that's one of the shows that I do. I partner. It's called Back to Back Broadway, where I partner with a hot Broadway female star. So, and this time I'm going to be doing it with a girl named Jody Langle, and she was in Les Mis on Broadway, and she's in her 50s, and she's like super hot, and she sings her face off. And she's based out of Florida. She has her own voice studio.
Right.
I'm pitching you, Jody. All right.
Yeah. Go to Jody.
Yeah, Jody Langle. Jody Langle, Langel. She's got her own voice studio, and I think she does stuff on Zoom as well. And so we're going to be doing a show together there. But I want to talk to you about The Ballad of Johnny and June, which is the Johnny Cash musical. Which
Oh, yes, please.
Years, which we just premiered. We workshopped it in New York for a couple years ago.
Right.
And Des McAnuff, who directed Jersey Boys, and he directed Ain't Too Proud, which is a big hit on the West End.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's been around for a while.
He directed Tommy, the musical, which just was nominated for a bunch of Tonys.
That's cool.
And he directed Big River on Broadway. And
Wow.
now he's directing this show and co-wrote this Johnny Cash musical, which is told from the perspective of Johnny Cash's son, John Carter Cash, who is still alive.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, this is how my parents met. This is from my perspective. And then you get it from Johnny's perspective, and then you get it from June's perspective. And Johnny Cash is really hot right now, and June Carter Cash's documentary just came out on Paramount. So we premiered this show, world premiere at the wonderful La Jolla Playhouse in La Jolla, California.
Oh, I love it there. That's where I'm from.
Love it. Big hit. And we were going to be extended, but we are not extended because they're doing some reparations on the theater itself, like earthquake proofing and all that.
Right.
But we are going. This is my next. Well, actually, this is not my next gig. My next gig is in Fort Worth, Texas, next week. I head out to Fort Worth to do $1 Million Quartet. So I've had a very busy year. But after that, then I come back, and then we're going to Canada, Edmonton, the Citadel Theater. We can. I can give you all the websites.
Yeah. Send me
Citadel Theater. If anybody,
it'll be in the show links there.
The Ballad of Johnny and June. It's where they premiered Hadestown, Peter Pan Goes Wrong, and Six. So we're doing the pre-Broadway, pre-Canadian premiere of The Ballad of Johnny and June in Canada and Edmonton, November, December.
Wow. So that's a packed
got a lot
year.
going on, man. And that shows we are Tommy Mottola, the great Tommy Mottola, who was Celine Dion's husband.
Yeah.
Manager who is head of Dodger Productions. Loves the show, Ballad of Johnny and June. And, we're very excited about it. We're very excited about it.
So
Johnny Cash.
Yeah, Johnny Cash, the man in black. Who
Man in
doesn't
Black.
love little Johnny Cash?
My hair was perfect there for a second.
It doesn't. It looks exactly the same.
I got my coat. I'm a hair actor, just like you.
I am too. We should see. We struggle every time in these headphones. I can't. So tell me again. So it's the same story told 3 times.
It's the same story told 3 times, and you know what? It's kind of got a kitchen sink sort of quality to it, where we have Johnny's music, not all of it, but it's really also a lot about addiction.
Yeah. Okay. What part are you playing?
I play Johnny's dad.
All right.
Ray,
he was an asshole, wasn't he?
He was a real dick.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. And I play Sam Phillips, who I played in 2 other musicals, $1 Million Quartet, $1 Million Quartet. Wow. So I'm the only guy to play Sam Phillips in 3 different musicals. And Sam discovered Elvis. He discovered Johnny Cash. He discovered Jerry Lee Lewis. He discovered Carl Perkins. Yeah. B.B. King.
Put them all on the road together.
They performed together at one time back in the day. And Sam was he's an he was an Alabama boy, but he opened up this place called Memphis Recording Studio.
Yes.
And all these guys traipse through. They're all poor guys,
poor young guys,
who just loved music and grew up on all sorts of like me. Grew up on all sorts of different types of music, from gospel to honky tonk who just had all of this music in their head.
Blues
and Sam Phillips, he brought the authenticity, the great sound out of Johnny Cash.
Yeah,
he worked with those guys for hours. But he was so kind. He was just such a great father figure. So Sam Phillips is a great character, and I play him in Johnny and June.
Are you singing?
We're all singing. It's a musical.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a musical.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty cool.
Show, man.
That sounds awesome, actually.
Yeah, we're excited. We're excited about it.
How many nights did you get at the La Jolla Playhouse with that?
8 nights a week. We were there for 12 weeks, man.
You were?
Yeah.
Oh my God. You were there 12
weeks.
12 weeks for 8 nights a week at the La Jolla with that show. That's
a theater, man. We do 8 nights, 8 shows a day, man.
Yeah, no, I know, but that's a huge run. That's a huge run.
Wow, that's like complaining about not having work. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
No, I work. And then I'm going to do $1 Million Quartet. we could put this on the website as well. Anybody who's from Texas out there, I got a lot of TSO fans because I'm a former member. I'm a former member of Trans-Siberian Orchestra,
Right.
a veteran vocalist with them. And we had a lot of TSO fans. So I'm going out to Fort Worth to do $1 Million Quartet at Casa Manana. And that opens up on September 9th to the 5th, runs for 2 weeks.
Right. That's next week. You're going out for
I'm
rehearsals,
leaving-
you
yeah.
said. Yeah.
I'm leaving for Texas on Sunday.
On Sunday.
That's so cool.
So we got a lot of TSO fans coming out to see me in $1 Million Quartet as well.
I never heard of that. What is that? The Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra is a symphonic.
You haven't heard of it?
No, I guess not.
It's one of the top touring bands in the world.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra is really big. When you look it up, Todd.
Yeah, it rings a
You'll
bell,
be
but
like,
okay.
Oh my God!
I feel like an idiot. Yeah.
And I was one of the singers with him for 15 years.
Wow. Okay.
That's really cool.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that that kind of ate up a lot of my 15 years of my career and kind of kept me from doing a lot of Broadway as well.
I see. Wow. So you blame them for
I
destroying
had
your...
the choice, golden handcuffs, because they were paying me so much.
Yeah. Oh, boo-hoo.
Golden hand,
Oh, man.
You know,
Gilded Cage.
The Gilded Cage. We would only tour for like 6 weeks a year. And
okay.
I was making as much.
Probably packed stadiums.
Oh my God, we're playing to 8,000 people a night.
Jesus.
Yeah. It was insane. And God bless those guys who do it every year. It's still running and it's still doing great. But
that sounds killer. All right, let's go back though, because now I want to fill in we got the beginning and we got the end. I want to get some of that middle, if you don't mind. You got a minute? You got enough coffee in that massive cylinder of yours? Okay.
That jug, the tank.
The tank.
Rocket fuel and the
black eye.
Black eye.
I'll take my black eye.
I say it just like that.
Dude, I'll have a black eye. You got to. It sounds like a pirate drink.
They're like, what? Excuse me?
Cowboy. Yeah.
Excuse me, sir?
I'm sorry. And
Sir,
your
sir?
name? Bart?
And they're always like, and you want that cold? I said, make sure you take 10 cents off because I
got my own.
got
In case you haven't noticed my massive mug.
In case you haven't noticed my big.
Just put the instructions, print out the instructions to make a black eye. And
on the thing. In big, broad type. You can just do the whole.
Well, everyone that has questions, you're like, just read.
Step one here.
Yeah,
The instructions are on the mug.
I get to know everybody. Actually, I go home with some of the baristas, so I get to know them. I'm like, I'm going to go home with you, so you know. And when I come in, you know what I order.
That sounds extremely creepy.
It was.
Was it meant to sound?
You know what? And I play a lot of creepy roles.
It's probably good.
You know, and getting back to that, Todd, I play a lot of assholes.
Yeah, did you play Jean Valjean? Was that one of your...
Jean Valjean was an asshole, but he was a real dark. I play a lot of dark characters, like guys with a secret.
Okay. Why do you think that is?
Because I got a lot of freaking secrets.
Yeah, because you're dark. Are you a dark horse? Are you a dark horse?
I got a real dark side to me. So.
You do, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So do you prefer playing those kind of roles?
Yeah, I really do.
Yeah, they're the more fun.
Yeah, they are, and I don't mind exposing that animalistic. You know, I think we're all primal,
right?
You know, and I think we've shunted those instincts,
right?
And that's why I do the cold showers and the hot stuff. And I try to get myself out of my comfort zone because
do you?
And I do, fasts. I do 24-hour fasts and intermittent fasting, and I just think we're all, we've lost that primal.
It's true.
In all of us.
We do the same thing here. We got the cold pod. We do the intermittent. What I sort of say is that there was a time when like being cold and hungry and tired and scared.
Super normal.
That was the thing you did all the time.
All the time.
You were pretty much, unless you had just eaten, you were hungry. That's your life.
We were biologically programmed for that. And why do you think it's changed? Because it hasn't. We haven't changed.
No.
We haven't changed, but technology and industry has changed.
Yeah.
We are all biologically the same animals that we were thousands of
Which means we're meant to be moving at all times and seeking
our
out
bodies
food
are supposed to be lean, and we're supposed to be moving, and our bodies are functional.
And under stress, it needs to always be like dealing with all kinds of environmental.
Lateral movements, we should also be doing lateral movements because when we box, we're the only animal. I mean, we're like a great combination of like a wolf and a jaguar because we can.
Here
I'm
comes that
serious.
imagination
We
again.
forgot how great of a species we freaking are.
Yeah, man, I'm like a wolf.
We are so much better than even these animals because we can also.
Well, we are, yeah.
We can grapple. We can
Yeah.
fight. We can fight because we fight with our fists. We can kick. We can punch.
We can also go to the bottom of the sea with a thing, and we can also fly, and we can also, like, with a little bit of help.
Species, man.
Yeah. It's like we can go anywhere, do anything. We can go to the Arctic. That drives me crazy too. I'm like, wow.
Incredible species, and people, we should be grateful that we are who we are as a species.
I love
so
it.
you,
I don't know.
I really
I
would urge people to go out there. I'm on. By the way, I don't mean to plug anything. I'm on something called reading the book called The Warrior Diet.
Oh,
It's not really a diet; it's just a way of life. But it does involve intermittent fasting,
keto or paleo.
It's not keto because keto. By the way, I just found out the godfather of keto really wanted when he created keto. Apparently, he created it for people with diabetes.
Yeah.
And people and kids with diabetes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he created it specifically for people with dementia.
Right.
And people are going crazy with this keto stuff. And even Rhonda Patrick, if you see her on Joe Rogan, she's like, this keto thing, I can't do it. I just can't do it. Because when I think I'm in keto, I'm not in keto because it's not sustainable. And the godfather, whatever his name is, who was a brilliant guy and should be given like a Nobel Prize for this, never wanted this diet to ever be sustainable and never wanted people to go. But I can tell you, just it's simple. Intermittent fasting, restricted eating is the best way to go.
Yeah, non-processed foods and things like that.
Non-processed.
I see you're pretty lean. You got a pretty good physique for a man of how old
almost
are you?
60. Almost 60. And
Almost
exercise,
60.
please just move your body, walk, but push yourself for 30 minutes. And you don't have to be there for an hour. Do it for 30 minutes.
You got to, as an actor. You've got to be.
Yeah, but not just us, but
ready to lunge.
Everybody. You feel better.
Well, of course, yeah.
What it does to your brain. You know.
Well, we'll have you back on the new health and wellness podcast that
I'd love to talk more about what I do and supplements and everything, and I'm it's all
that's cool.
It's all
we do the same. We do the same. Yeah, we got all the supplements.
You guys are all look great, and as an actor, you do have to look your best. And Amy said something too. It's just like when you're a film actor too, you have the worst schedule. I mean, you're not getting any sleep.
That's right.
And I'm in bed for 11 hours. You got to sleep. Sleep is like my sleep. My sleep tracker called the Whoop on, and if I don't get my sleep, I'm done. So it's but you know what, you don't. The schedule's horrible on film sets.
Yeah,
it's just, and if you don't,
it's a lot of waiting around. You're not. It's craft service table sitting right there with stacks of donuts and Skittles and whatever.
It's gotta really be disciplined. You said you bring your water purifier with you and all that, and you got to bring your supplements with you.
That's smart.
Yeah.
It's a great investment into your whole well-being. And you know what? I want to beat the age thing. I want to beat the longevity thing because I want to live to 100. I do.
Yeah.
As long as I'm
keep
happy,
working. Right.
I want to live to 100, and I think our bodies are programmed for that.
I'm with you on that. I think so too. Especially these days, we start seeing it. I'm actually. We'll talk off air.
But be diagnosed with cancer tomorrow. Wouldn't that be great? Great part.
No, even better. God forbid you get hit by a bus, and it's like with your giant coffee in your hand. You're like, he was walking
left instead of right or whatever.
Yeah, that's right. You'll do a Tom Cruise.
What do you look
like the wrong? God forbid, we don't want to say. No. But I do have a project called Life Longevity Zone that I've started. My girlfriend's getting her certification in health coaching and stuff and nutrition.
Shout out to Justina.
Justina, yeah. So we do some of this stuff kind of already with friends and things. So it sounds like you and I have a lot in common there. In fact, Jay can attest to the fact that I've got him on a little stricter diet, haven't I, Jay? Got you feeling healthy. Absolutely necessary.
Got me on. Oh yeah, on a.
Well, anyway, but we'll talk.
You both look great, yeah.
But I want to while we still have a little bit of time. Let's conquer the middle section of this. I want to know how Bart goes from Peoria to New York. Just get me from A to B.
Well, it's always involves a girl.
Did you take a bus or okay?
It always involves a girl.
It's a girl.
Okay,
Really?
yeah, you know what? Yes, high school plays. I did plays. Lots of community theater. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Big fish, small pond. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
I meet a girl who I think I'm going to be with the rest of my life. I end up going to college at Western Illinois University. I
Right.
spend the first year there, and then she comes up and breaks up with me while I'm on a swing set, like you do. I'm on a swing set, and she's looking up men and breaks up with
And
me.
she's like,
My life was never the same. So I decide I want to leave college for a second, and I hitchhike home. And my mom picks me up somewhere in Springfield, Illinois.
right.
Yeah. And my life was a shambles, and I've kind of never been the same since.
How old?
But
How old are you? Like 20?
I was like 20, man.
Yeah,
I was
20.
like, yeah.
Did she look at you on the swing set and say, I actually need to be with like a man, not a guy that sits on a swing set? Is that what broke your? You're like, what? I like playgrounds.
You knew you would break my balls.
Well, you just admitted that you're 20 years old. You're sitting on a swing set, and she comes up and breaks up with you. Maybe she was just like,
Okay, man, child.
yeah. Maybe she's like, I met a guy who's like a mature.
And Patty Chris Moore, whatever your last name is.
Oh, we're sorry that happened to you. Yeah. You're better off. You're better off. You're better.
And I think
she didn't see the potential. She's regretting right now. She made some bad choices there.
Broadway star.
So your life's in a shambles. You're sitting there at your mom's house with your mom, and
I don't know what I'm gonna do. So I decide I'm gonna go move down to Southern Illinois. My parents moved out of Peoria, moved down to Southern Illinois University, Illinois,
to retire.
My dad started working for another beer company called Heileman, and started working for them. He lived in Allentown, Pennsylvania. That was Belleville, Illinois. Worked for Highland, and so I moved down with them. And then I started going to another university, took a year off, and I went to Southern Illinois University at Edwardsville, which is across the river from St. Louis.
Right.
And that's where everything started taking off. So I enrolled at Southern Illinois University, and I had my audition, and I got in there. I was there for 3 years, and then I said I had enough of this. And then I got my first professional job in St. Louis the moment I left college.
Jeez.
I'm not
It
suggesting.
sounds like you were having a difficult time getting out of Illinois. That's the first. That's like the first major hurdle.
Once you're in, it drags you back.
Yeah, it's like, then I went to North Illinois, West Illinois, South Illinois. I was all over Illinois. I couldn't get out. And then finally I went across the bridge to St. Louis.
In St. Louis, then I started my career in St. Louis, got my equity card there.
Okay.
And then I met my first wife. It's always a woman.
Yeah.
And then my first wife was from New York, and she was in St. Louis doing theater that summer. And I moved back to New York with her.
Right.
And then we ended up on cruise ships for like 2 years, like traveling the world.
Okay.
It's always a girl that kind of leads me to where I need to be. And then I was married to Anne for 10 years. We had a son named Connor, who's like 26 years old.
Connor.
And so Amy's my second marriage. And so I screwed up that relationship, like you do.
Yeah.
Because that's what the actors do.
Yeah.
And everything from ending up in rehab or whatever, but I didn't do that. But anyway, so I was with Anne for 10 years, and we lived upstate in New York for 10 years, raised my son up in Orange County. We had an Orange County up in New York, upstate New York. I did like 3 Broadway shows commuting back and forth.
Okay.
While my son went to school there, and we raised him.
Wow. Making ends meet? You were doing just the acting?
Ends meet. I have a great career. I was, I was in Les Mis tour. I was in the Cats tour. Like I said, I was on Broadway with Les Mis, on Broadway with a show called Civil War in 1999. And then after we got divorced, then I still ended up upstate New York because I wanted to stay close to my son because he was in high school at the time.
Right.
But still commuting back and forth. So, I mean, I was, in New York a lot, but commuting back and forth upstate.
That's not bad that you
raised my son.
Your family got a chance to kind of live a little bit more peaceful life outside of the city.
That's what we wanted to do. And, Orange County was the best.
Yeah. But yet you could manage, I mean, to sustain an acting career and even develop it and raise a family in a comfortable, safe, sort of quiet
And he still wanted to be an actor. What the hell?
Is he?
Still went to school for acting. I'm trying to tell this kid because I would take him to work. Work was the Broadway theater.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, sit backstage or sit in my dressing room while you're doing the show.
Yeah.
And then, or take him on the TSO tour with me. And he's like, oh, he thought that was easy.
Yeah.
He thought it was a life. I was like, no, you have to audition for this.
Yeah, it's not all fun and games. Yeah.
Work hard for this.
Yeah.
I don't think he realized. So he kind of tooled around for a while as an actor, and then now he's like studying neuroscience at Columbia University.
Wow. Okay.
Like you do.
Good for him. Good for him.
Okay.
As you do. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So he tried it because he was so spoiled with being in Broadway house.
Sure. Yeah. Just walk straight backstage and hang out. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I can see where that would be. And your ex-wife, was an actor as well?
She was an actress as well, an incredible voice. She was an actor-singer, another triple threat.
Right.
But she decided to kind of quit the business when we got married and work for a software company at the time. So one of us could at least do this thing.
Yeah.
And she allowed me to do that, which I had a burgeoning career during that time.
Yeah, I guess if you can see that one is progressing and then let that, flourish.
We had to. She felt like one of us had to do it for the kids, for my son. Which was the right thing. I don't know how people live in New York and then they're raising 3 or 4 kids and they're both actors.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I had a similar situation here in London with the two kids and a kind of it was really hard. We tried to get out. I couldn't sustain my acting career because she was actually making good money. So
wow,
my career.
So you're kind of out of it now.
I mean, by the time I started getting back in and getting the momentum again, after going through a divorce and blah blah blah, then boom, the double whammy of COVID, and then the SAG strike. So I was just getting my momentum back, and it was like, oof. So that's tough,
Well, here's the deal: it's always going to be there, and you're going to grow into your face.
That's the same thing they told me when I was 15. Don't worry, kid.
Maybe if you get hit a few times, you'll grow into it even faster. I mean, so you're going to grow into that face. And Todd, it's always going to be there. The business was never going to go away, man.
Yeah, that's it.
People take time off, and people can be anywhere and be in any market in D.C., at Atlanta, New Orleans, Chicago.
These days, that's right. You can.
You can be anywhere.
You can be like your friend in Florida with a booth. This is definitely.
People are getting Broadway shows when they're in LA, or getting Broadway shows when they're in Bohunk, Alabama, because they're just putting stuff on tape.
What was that whole cruise ship thing, by the way? Because that's something that I think is interesting for people.
Holland America Cruise Lines. Yeah. We were part of a 10-person review company. And that really led to my career in New York. And how did it lead to my career in New York? We traveled with him for 1.5 years.
Right.
And first I was on American Hawaii cruises, so I was in Hawaii for 1 year.
Nice.
Doing that. Those ships are defunct. They kind of island hopped for a year, but now they're defunct. But then my wife and I were in my first job I got when I went to New York was Holland America, and I was like, I gotta go make money.
Yeah.
I know I just live here, but I know I love you, but I live living here, but I gotta go home. I gotta go to make money. So I went and made money, and I missed her so much for like 2 months, and then she came and joined me on the ship.
Right. Okay.
So we traveled the world for 1.5 years. Then I got discovered by these guys named the Wise Guys, who were this cabaret group.
Okay.
Who were part of they were the headliners on the ship.
Right.
They came on and just kind of did a gig, and then they left.
Right.
But we became friends with them. And Jim Caruso was the head of that. And Jim Caruso hosts Pajama Party.
Yeah.
At Birdland. And he had this group called the Wise Guys. And it was an already existing group. But one of the guys was leaving the group. And they heard my voice when they heard us perform. And they're like, are you interested? I was like, yeah, sure. So I joined the group when I got off the ship. And my first gig, I'm not kidding you, literally was Carnegie Hall. I performed at Carnegie Hall with these guys in New York.
Wow.
I toured with them for 1 year.
How many rehearsals before you got to?
How many rehearsals?
Yeah.
So I rehearsed all of their stuff when I was on the ship.
On the ship, yeah. Okay.
And I just learned it through like a tape recorder because we had tape. recorders back then, cassette tapes.
Yeah,
So I listened to it, and then they had no music, so I just listened to it and copied the guy who was singing the tenor.
Right.
And I was ready to go. I was ready to go once when I got off the ship. I rehearsed with those guys, and our first gig was literally Carnegie Hall.
How old were you then? 27?
I was in my it was around 1994, so I was almost 30 years old.
Yeah.
So
pretty good.
And they introduced me to this whole world of people, people in the cabaret world.
Right.
So I toured with them, and then we disbanded, and then I just literally went back to my theater roots.
Yeah.
After that, I got the Cats tour, and then a couple years after that, I got my first Broadway show. And I mean, because I'm a musical theater guy, this is what I do.
Yeah.
I'm an actor I'm a singer who acts, or actor who sings.
Yeah, I was going to ask you.
Really, really well, and so I went back to those roots. And then after that, after I left that group, then my career just went boom.
All right.
Who did you play in Cats?
I was Gus Growltiger, who was the opera cat. He was the old palsy-ridden cat who turns into the opera cat. I think they cut him from the movie.
Oh, why would they cut such a?
It's a great.
It sounds like a great part. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great part.
Yeah.
What does Bart Shatto want? What is waiting still? What's on your bucket list as an actor? What is yet to be accomplished?
Oh man, I'd love to get maybe 5 more co-stars under my belt, and then start to branch out into some guest star stuff on TV.
TV stuff you're looking
for. Of course,
for.
I would just love to be. Who doesn't want this? I've always just wanted this to be a TV actor.
Yeah. But you just said now you consider yourself a musical theater guy first and an actor second.
I am theater trained.
Yeah.
And New York based, and but man, I would love to be just a reoccurring on a
would you be good on the show if they ever brought it back? Remember Cop Rock?
Oh my God, my friend was on that. That was the worst show.
What? That was amazing.
It was.
Jay doesn't know. It was like a Hill Street Blues. It was like a cop show, but it was also a musical. Bosco, yeah. It was a short-lived. It's called Cop Rock.
And the guys, these cops would be.
It was a gritty, it was a gritty New York police show where they broke out into song and dance in the police station and stuff.
Like rock, it's like
you're under arrest, or whatever. I don't know.
Sounded like John Bon Jovi. That would be perfect for me because I've got that kind of gritty cop thing.
You have both. You can do the gritty cop.
And the real high stuff,
and then you could do the musical.
I could sing the John Bon Jovi stuff. That would be a great.
I'm just saying, like, if
they
you could
do a musical about making cop rock,
right? If they did a film about like a cop rock film, and it was kind of a little tongue in cheeky, like a Starsky and Hutch, where they kind of make fun of the whole thing.
Yeah, that's a great idea, man.
They
got to have some footage of that. Jeez.
I feel like.
Wow. Because everybody's making movie musicals these days. I have a new movie musical coming out that I just shot in New York on location called Corinne's Heart. So this would be I think the 3rd movie musical that I've done. That's coming out. That'll be coming out in 2025.
All right. I know this episode's getting a little long right now, but
it is.
And congratulations. But wait a minute. I just want to wait a minute.
He's showing us Cop Rock.
Here we go. Okay. So he's
unusual places. Okay, that's it. And hey, let's be careful out there. Let's be careful out there.
There it is. I think he'd be perfect. And the guy's he's actually playing organ. Great little taste of cop rock for you. Yeah, isn't that amazing? Well, I think he'd be good at that.
I think we've got to revisit that because it's so cheesy, and you cannot believe that was actually on prime time.
It was a primetime show. I think it did.
My friend Michael.
Yeah, who's your friend that was in it?
That wasn't him. Michael Lanning.
Lanning.
And,
Okay.
and I would love to bring him on to talk about that show.
Oh, please introduce us to Michael Lanning.
And he's got that gritty, he was that
I would recognize him.
Of America.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Chevy truck. I mean, he's that guy, and I'm mimicking him, but he has that voice.
He actually has that
He was
voice.
in Cop Rock, and he was in
could do
Sicko with me and Civil War with me. He's
Really?
got some stories, man.
Oh, please introduce us. I just
He's so amazing.
Oh, that'd be cool to talk to
He'd
him.
bring his guitar out and play for you. He's amazing. He's in LA right now. Yeah.
Just quickly, I'll play a little thing. I just want to introduce audience. This is you singing, right?
Can't go wrong, 'cause I'm in right. Ask me when will the day be? The big day may be tonight.
Woo! Very good. That's not the real clap, by the way. That's just me being silly.
Yeah.
But I thought I'd give the audiences a taste. Now, instead of me asking you to sing something for us, I thought it would be a special treat for you if Jay and I sang something for you.
I would love that.
Now, we've put together a little piece.
Yeah. Great. This is going to be fun.
I'm just kidding. We haven't done anything.
You didn't put anything out there?
No, I was joking, but I just wanted to see Jay turn bright red.
I was about to make. I was like,
What song can we do for him now? Let's do a song for him. Somewhere over the rainbow.
That sounds good.
There's a dream that I did. I don't know. We're mimicking each other because we have the same voice agent, maybe.
You sound like Kermit the Frog, but we know.
Dude.
That's good. You guys kind of got good voices, actually.
We actually do sing. Jay sings, I sing, yeah. But we're not Broadway.
We're not.
We don't sing like that. We actually do sing.
Yeah.
I was in some bands and stuff, but I was in a band.
If you look at my stuff, I sing.
You see my band.
I have a clip of
I looked up Todd, but I did not look up you, Jay. I have to do that later.
Okay.
He's pretty easy to find.
Audiences, forgive him.
Yeah, sorry. Like I said, we don't know anything about Ed McMahon or Andy Reichert, whatever it was.
Yeah, it's a sidekick role. I keep telling him he could escalate to co-host if he did a little bit more work, but he just likes to show up and be himself. And I'm like, well, that's not co-host material. Yeah, that's the sidekick who I get to break your balls, and you support
and
me.
I get to scream in agony, but I have a good time.
Yeah, he's color. He's the color commentator, and that doesn't really. Oh my gosh! Yeah, that's amazing.
It's good.
Wow, his job really is just his job is.
Don't lose this guy. Whatever you're paying this guy.
No, he's great.
$2 an hour.
He's my wow man. His job is to say wow. Wow. He says that a lot, by the way. He go, wow. Wow. That's my wow guy. That's what
they say, I'm woo girls make the world go round.
I don't know who says that. Nobody says that.
No. But you guys have never heard this? Or
no, we're full-grown adult males.
That goes, woo! That's like the woo girl. They make the world go round. You guys have never.
Who says that?
No. Never.
All the college kids did.
Oh,
when I was in college.
all the kids. Is that what the kids say? What does it even mean?
It's just like everyone appreciates a woo girl. You go to a party, right? You're on campus, you're at university campus, and there's that one girl, or at the.
Is that the girl with the pink cowboy hat and the white cowboy boots and all the glitter?
Likely, but it doesn't matter.
And like sunglasses that are pink, but they're heart-shaped rims. Yeah.
And she goes woo, and then everyone is just like, everyone's like, woo,
And they kind of look.
Make the world go round. They're the hype man with the woo girls.
More of a steady diet of woo girls.
Of woo girls, yeah.
So is that what you want me to think of you as, my woo girl?
I'm
Jay.
Honestly, you may, if you would like to.
Okay. Yeah.
What?
Bart, bro, I really, man, amazing to have talked to you. Thanks for coming on the show. Fantastic. Introducing us to your wife, your dogs. And
Oh, man, I wish Maverick's sleeping right now. He's so bored from this interview. I mean.
You put him right out, despite all the shouting and singing.
I'm telling you, folks, this is better than a dose of Ambien.
What kind of dog do you have?
German Shepherd, black.
Oh, Wow. Like a proper Aryan.
He's like my Sancho, man. He's like the most
That's
loyal.
cool.
Shepherds are good.
I like a
dogs.
good
best
dog.
dogs in the world, man.
Yeah.
He's like my Sancho.
Good family dog.
We brought him to La Jolla. It cost us like $3,000 to bring him to La Jolla, and then
round trip.
while I was there, he ate a dish towel, and I had to take him to the hospital, and they had to operate on him a 6-7 inch incision and remove the dish towel.
Oh God,
it's crazy.
Wow.
So the whole trip cost us like everything I was making at La Jolla is gone because it all
gone. It all went into the dog. Dish towel, dog.
cost like $11,000. That's all I made at La Jolla.
I was looking for an upbeat way to finish.
You know what? I'm going to do this upbeat way. This is how I'm going to end the show.
Give it to us.
Okay.
Let's be careful out there. Let's be careful out there.
Jay?
Yeah.
Woo!
Yes, man.
Thanks, Bart.
Thank you, guys.
Stick around. We're going to wrap the show up, and then we'll appreciate you. And we'll see you in a minute. Okay.
Right. Thanks, guys.
Wow, thanks. Boo, boo, boo. Jay, we won't. How great is Bart Shatto?
Great.
I want everybody to, get on the show notes, find him. I forgot everything he said, but we'll put all the links and stuff to everywhere that you can go check him out. I would love to meet him personally and go see him live perform, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah. And see the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Oh, well, he doesn't do that anymore, but still.
Yeah. And see whatever he's doing, and look for him in some television stuff coming up. Bart.
And this new play that might go into Broadway.
Yeah. I mean, he's busy beaver.
That's very exciting.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Did I not stumble across the right guy or what?
You always do, Todd.
I think it was just I think it was meant to be. It was kismet, karma.
Yeah, from an actor pop-up. I can't believe it.
From one simple actor pop-up. Actor pop-ups available now on Offstage Acting. Only $50 a pop-up. The opportunities will come your way.
Yeah.
All right. Everyone, we want to say thank you for joining us on the Offstage Acting Podcast this week. We had a great guest, Bart Shatto. And you can find him at bartshatto.com, of all places, and get all the information about where he's going to be, what he's going to be doing, what he's done. And we're going to see you next time on the Offstage Acting Podcast. Woo!
Like I said, there's always something you can take away from every interview.
Yeah. I appreciate it, Bart.
And I'm still learning, too. I don't have it all figured out. I'm still learning.
Yeah.
Todd has it all figured out, though.
Yeah, obviously.
He has it all figured out.
Yeah. But I like to interview people that don't. And then